Well, what's up, guys? So I'm gonna do, and in case you missed it on Doctor Strange, I'm gonna try to do a quick roundup on the movie. I just saw it a couple days ago. I thought it was amazing, and I did my little review on it. I think like a day ago or 2 days ago. I didn't want to do too much. I don't want to say too much, but this time I'm pretty much say everything that happened. And so it's about it says it's 115 minutes, so like 2 hours, and it stars Benedict Cumberbatch. Chi, I don't know how to say my man's name. I know his last name's like Ejiofor, but I can't say his first name. But black dude. He was in Serenity. He was in Four Brothers. He's 12 Years a Slave. Chief Chidwell Ejiofor, whatever. Fucking hard ass name. Rachel McAdams, Benedict Wong, Benjamin Bratt, Scott Atkins. I like Scott Atkins, and he does like fighting and shit. Tilda Swinton. So, um, yeah. So it starts off in I think it's Kathmandu, Nepal. So this sorcerer Calisius, I'm gonna say Calisius, and his zealots, his running mate motherfuckers, they come in and kill this dude. They throw some whips at this librarian, and he just cut his head off. And he takes these 2 pages out of a book, and you're like, okay. So I'm guessing them with some spells, and then Ancient One chases him. That's Tilda Swinton, and then they get the fighting, they get the scrapping, and she's like turning buildings upside down and shit. It was the visuals. If I was on something, all done. You just would have been so done. I don't think I was tripping. I wasn't on nothing. So she fights them. I think she kills a couple of them, bending the walls and earth and shit like that. But old dude Calisius got away. And then I think the movie like comes on after that. That was like the beginning scene. She like walks away and into New York or London. You got Doctor Strange, this Benedict Cumberbatch, and Christine Palmer, which was Rachel McAdams. And pretty much Doctor Strange is just a boastful ass, smart ass neurosurgeon. He's kind of like Tony Stark, but if Tony Stark was a neurosurgeon and didn't make weapons to blow people up and shit. Nigga's hella smart though, like hella cocky, and everything has like a reasonable like this that split. Like everything has a reasoning around with him. So he's like he saved somebody from dying. He had a bullet in his head that another doctor said he was about to die. He was like, well, actually, motherfucker. So he saved him, and Rachel McAdams are really cool, like a couple. And then he's going to some date or a dinner or a speech or something. He had hella watches. His crib was mad dope. I think he was in a Lambo, going ridiculously fast. I don't know. I was like, he's going fast as fuck. So he was going, and I don't know if he hit somebody or somebody hit him. But he flew off the road, crashed, hit like 8 different things, and then crushed his hands. It like showed it in the one little slow mo cap. It showed his hands getting fucked up. So you like, oh yeah, his hands is done. So then he wakes up at the place, at the hospital. Rachel McAdams is right there. And he's like, what did they do to me? In his hands, you just see his hands all sort of fucked up. It's lines and cuts and bars. She's like, oh, they put metal rods in like all your hands. And him being a neurosurgeon, like, well, your career's over, bro. You can't use your hands. So he tries to go into rehab using his hands, doing all these workouts, doing whatever he can, spending all his money that he has, all of his watches, his house, his apartment, getting all that shit gone. And then him and Rachel McAdams get into it for him being like, she had a pity party, they loved each other, and then they was cool, and then they wasn't. And then he went to one dude, physical therapist, and he heard I think his name was Jonathan Pangborn or something. It was this dude that figured out how to walk after being paraplegic, and he was like, well, how'd you do that? So then he go ask his old boy how'd he figured out what to do, and then it was this place called Kamertage. I think it was in like Nepal or something. So he goes there. He finds the place, and he's introduced to Mordo, which is Ejiofor. Can't say his first name. And then he goes into the place, and he thinks the Ancient One is this other Asian dude, and it's not, and it's Tilda Swinton. Um, and then she starts saying how to heal him with books and all this and that. And he's like, "You're showing me pictures of shit I already know, like MRIs and all." So he was shitty because he's like, "I already know all this." So then she like knocks his soul out of his body. She puts him into like the astral plane. Um, so he like goes through the trippiest shit. Boy, he like flew through his own eyeball. He was screaming. He flew around the world. He went to the dark dimension. He saw Dormammu. Anyway, and then he came back, and then he wanted her to teach him, and then she was like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here." But then she ended up teaching him because he reminded the ancient one of Calisius. I think that's his name, Calisius, because he was so arrogant and boastful or whatever. So then Doctor Strange starts training with Mordo and the Ancient One, trying to figure out how to open portals with this sling ring thing. This whole everything like channels your energy through different dimensions and stuff like that. So she sent this dude to Mount Everest and just left him there because she figured that he would come back out, and he finally did. Then he started learning how to fight and all this cool stuff. And then there was this library. This dude, they had a new librarian named Wong, big Asian dude, didn't laugh ever. They had some good jokes between Wong and him. So then he's been doing his studies, and he figures out how to make his soul come out of his body, go into the astral plane. He's been stealing a whole bunch of books from the library, learning all he can, learning how to fight. And then he figures out there's these sanctums that protect the world from mystical threats. One's in Hong Kong, one's in London, and one's in New York. And one of them, they get attacked. I think it was the London one got attacked. So he ended up in New York, and then the New York sanctum got attacked. And no, before that, he learned how to use the Eye of Agamotto, which is like one of the relics, and he learned how to like reverse and control time. And then they were like, "Don't do that, bro. Like that's one of our rules. Don't break that rule because we don't fuck with time and the natural law." So Mordo and Wong was like, "Hey, don't do that shit." But you knew it was gonna come back later in the story. But then, if I remember right, they attacked at the Sanctum. Then he got launched to the New York Sanctum, and they came in there and they attacked him. They attacked Doctor Strange. They fought a little bit. Then he had to kill a dude. He had to kill Scott Atkins. Him and Scott Atkins was boxing, and he came out of his body actually because he got stabbed. Doctor Strange got stabbed too, so he went to the real world to have Rachel McAdams heal him, and then he got the cloak of levitation out of a glass, and then he killed Scott Atkins. It was a pretty good fight scene. You just got to see that part. And then Mordo and Ancient One come out. He was telling Mordo that the Ancient One was using powers from the dark dimension to stay old, live forever, and feeding off of Dormammu. And then Mordo was like, "Oh, that's some bullshit. How you skimming off the budget? You tell us not to do it." So then, shit, what happened after that? Fuck. What happened after that? Well, yeah, then somewhere, Calisius fought the Ancient One in the mirror dimension. Like, Doctor Strange took them into a mirror dimension so they couldn't affect people in the real world. But them motherfuckers got stronger in the mirror dimension because they was using Dormammu shit. So she was fighting in there, and then Calisius stabbed through one of the motherfuckers to stab her. Then he opened the portal with the sling ring and kicked her through the portal, and then she fell through a window in New York. And then he tried to save her with Rachel McAdams, but she didn't want to. She was like, "This one I die." So then she died, and then Doctor Strange had to go get Mordo, like, "Yo, we got to stop them from taking Hong Kong Sanctum or shit's gonna get real and the dark dimension's gonna eat everybody." So they go there, and they already dead by the time they get to Hong Kong. Wong dead, the Sanctum, everybody dead. He already missed the boat. So he uses the Eye of Agamotto to rewind time to make that not happen. But then when he does that, Calisius and a couple of the zealots like get out of the spell while he's doing it. So they're fighting while everything's going back in time. It's the coolest shit. I've never seen any shit like that. But then he gets hit. Doctor Strange get hit again at one point, and then he fucked up the spell, so everybody's just frozen. So then they were talking about time. They kept saying time over and over, and she's like, "Oh well, let me go to Dormammu, and then I'm gonna just fuck with him because he's the one that's doing all this." So he goes to see him, and he says something to him, and he said, "Came to Barkin," just kills him off rip, just shot him with a big ion proton blast, and you thought he died, and then he comes back again. And then he put a loop. It ends up he puts a loop on his arm with the Eye Agamotto, and Dormammu doesn't know what time it is in the dark dimension. So he kills Doctor Strange over and over and over and over and over. He killed him so many different ways. And then he was like, "All right, bro, we're gonna keep doing this until you want me to turn this off and we can make a deal. If not, we can do this forever." So then finally Dormammu broke. It was like, "All right, I'm gonna take my zealots back. I'll take all the motherfuckers back. I won't fuck with Earth right now." We all know he's gonna be back. But Doctor Strange got the day. He saved the day. So then he comes back. Everybody's cool. He brought Wong back to life. The Sanctum didn't get blown up. Memordo was like, "Bro, I'm not with y'all. Y'all fucking up all the rules. Y'all changing all the things we studied for. I'm not with that. I ain't following this path no more." So he bounces. He's out. And then Strange and Wong go back to one of the Sanctums, and he puts the Eye of Agamotto back. And then Wong says it's an Infinity Stone. So we got another Infinity Stone introduced to the MCU. And then it shows him being Doctor Strange. I mean, shows him becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. Like in the end, now he's gonna learn all the shit. Then the mid-credit scene was he was talking to Thor about finding Odin, and he brought Loki to New York, and he had the gloves on. Benedict Cumberbatch had the yellow Doctor Strange gloves on, and then he gave him a beer that was kept filling back up. And then there's a post-credit scene where Mordo visit Pangborn, the dude that fixed his back with magic, the paraplegic dude that sent Doctor Strange on the quest in the first place. They say he took his magic out of his back and made him paraplegic, and he said the world has too many sorcerers. I didn't get to see that because my sister wanted to get up because she didn't hit with the MCU, so I want to go back and see it myself. But that's Doctor Strange. In case you miss it, I might have skipped around a few points. It's kind of, I don't really write anything down. I just look at Wikipedia on my computer and go off my head from all the scenes. But yeah, man, guys, this is a great movie. Definitely go see it. One of MCU's best. They going with this. They going with the heat. It's only gonna get bigger and better. But comment, like, subscribe. Fuck that up. Say if you saw it or not. Anything like that. Review it. Watch my other reviews. I mean, yeah. But thanks for watching it, guys.